The order is if he's going to, you did not waive the 15-day. Does that mean he's going to stay here through the duration and then after disposition will likely be transferred to San Joaquin?
That's true either way. The 15-day was how soon they'd have to try the case if we demanded a trial. So that's just setting a speedy trial clock running. That can always be revisited later.
But he'll be held here?
Yes.
Yeah.
But can you just clarify overall what they were referring to when they said San Joaquin County?
Well, because he lives in San Joaquin County and in juvenile jurisprudence, it's kind of a two-step process. The county in which an incident occurs, in this case San Francisco, would be where the case is adjudicated by either admission or trial or some resolution of the charges themselves. And then once that's done, you go to the disposition phase, which would be akin in the adult world to sentencing, and that would occur in the county of residence, in this case San Joaquin.
Any overall response to the allegations against your client?
Well, it's really too soon to tell for me because I don't have all the evidence yet. I've just seen a police report. I haven't seen the video, which I'm sure there's a lot of, and I'm very anxious to see because I think that'll shed a lot of light on the actual shooting portion of the incident.
And in terms of your client, what's his demeanor been like, his attitude the past couple of days since all this has happened?
Well, he's very sorry, genuinely, that this did happen, as is his family. And I can say on their behalf as well as on my own behalf that our thoughts go out to the Pearsall family and Mr. Pearsall himself. So there's genuine remorse in that regard. He's a young boy, he's 17 years old, and with, all the media attention, even nationwide media attention, it's a lot. It's a lot for the family to process, and it's a lot for, to be on his shoulders.
Was it surprising for you that the judge allowed media into the room, given that he is a minor?
I did try to exclude you guys, no offense, but because of the nature of the charges, the law is pretty clear that certain offenses are open to the public, and this is one of them.
There was a mention of a pending matter in San Joaquin County. Does he have an open criminal case there as well?
That's my understanding based on the report filed by probation here, but I don't know any further facts on that.
Can you talk about his injury? His injury. I mean, we understand he was injured as well.
He was shot, yes. He was shot through the left arm. Similar to Mr. Pearsall's injury is what we call a through and through. The bullet entering and passing through, tunneling, if you will. And thankfully in both cases, they're doing very well.
So is he wearing a cast? Or is he wearing anything that you could notice?
It's bandaged, but it didn't break a bone.
Can you talk about the gun your client is accused of having during this attempt to
I haven't seen the ballistics report yet, so I really can't give you much more on the gun itself.
And your thoughts as to any potential transfer to adult court if the DA submits that to the judge?
Well, I'm certainly hoping that they don't do that. I think that my client certainly should be treated as a juvenile. He is a juvenile. It's very rare for transfer to occur. And even though this is obviously a serious case, a shooting, in the normal course of events, this would not warrant transfer. I hope it doesn't in this case. I'll say this too. I saw District Attorney Brooke Jenkins' press conference yesterday where she said, that the status of the victim shouldn't determine the outcome of that decision. And I give her a lot of credit for saying that because obviously there's a lot of pressure from the media, national media, the way it's being spun in different arenas for her to make that sort of a decision. But the only reason you're here talking to me is because Mr. Pearsall's a 49er. I mean, let's be honest about that. But that status alone shouldn't dictate that outcome.
So for that reason, you think that he should be treated as a minor?
He should be treated as a minor. Yeah.
And how are your client's parents taking it? You saw mom and his dad was there. How are they taking it?
This is very, very hard on them. They're very loving parents. EB, means the world to them. They've assured me, and from what little I know, that this is completely out of character for him. I do think there are extraneous circumstances that haven't really formed part of the narrative yet, but I'm still piecing that together. But as I say, they're very relieved on the one hand that Mr. Pearsall and their son are both doing so well medically, but also very concerned and very contrite over incident having happened in the first place.
Can you give us a clue about that theory of extenuating circumstances?
I really don't know enough about it right now to expound on that, but I just will say that, as is often the case, it's more complicated than it looks at first blush.
Was he influenced by other people, talking to other people, working with other individuals?
Those are good guesses, but I really can't, comment on it right now.
Is there something like to say to the Pearsall family as well?
Very, very, very sorry, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm speaking on behalf of the family there as well. I mean, I know, we call him Ricky Pearsall, that we know him because we're fans. I'm a huge 49er fan myself. I would like nothing better for this story to end with him catching the winning touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, hopefully against the Chiefs. But but our hearts do go out to them, and we're very, thankful that he's, doing so well. I'm sure part of that's just because he's such an amazing athlete. But I heard that he's even in the gym lifting weights as of yesterday. So, very thankful for that. But very, very sorry for the incidents that occurred in the first place.
So your client will be detained here and not transferred to St. Joaquin County?
He'll be detained here in the normal course of events until the charges are resolved, either by admission or by trial. One way or another, the accusations have to be settled. And then once that happens, I would anticipate, yes, he would be transferred to his home county. So
So you don't know about the charges there?
I don't.
What was his motivation for acting how he did on Saturday? Was it financial? Was it just wanting to sell the watch?
It's still early days, and I'm not prepared really to discuss that. But as I think, as the prosecution's probably told you as well, the investigation's ongoing, and we'll know more soon.
The major said that was an isolated incident, that apparently this person wasn't the target. Does your client know he was a 49er player and he knew what he was doing at the time of the attack?
No, he didn't know he was a 49er. I wouldn't have known he was a 49er, frankly. No, he didn't know that. It wasn't a targeted, 49er attack.
Was the decision to charge with attempted murder surprising at all to you?
Surprising, no. I think, again, media pressure has a certain influence on cases. I'm hoping not an overly much influence, but no, I'm not sure that charge is actually going to hold water at the end of the day. But in terms of a charge, I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
Are you saying you don't think that they would have gone with the attempted murder charge if there weren't so much media attention on the case?
I don't want to overly state that. I just don't want the media, again, with all due respect, I know you're all doing your jobs, but I don't want the media presence in this case to warp the trajectory of what would normally happen in a case like this. I just don't think there should be a different outcome based on, frankly, either whether it's a defendant who's rich and powerful or whether it's a victim who's popular and powerful.
Are you concerned about that prior
Sure,
prior
can I
case
just-
in San Joaquin? Are you concerned about that prior case in San Joaquin County affecting this case as well?
I don't think it will, but I don't really know anything about it, so I think I've got enough on my plate here for starters.
Is that his only other criminal charge
That's
that
my
you're aware
understanding,
of?
yes. Yeah, no other record.
And you'll be back here September 10th?
And I'm sure you will be too. Yes.
It was reported that he was part of a gang up there, the Norteño. Is that
No,
accurate?
there's no evidence of that.
He's not part of any gangs.
Not to my knowledge, and no evidence I've seen suggests that in any way or at all.
If he lives in Tracy, what was he doing in San Francisco Saturday?
Again, that's still under investigation in terms of all the background details.
How much time did you have to spend with the client when did you guys first meet?
We met over the weekend, and I've spent several hours with him.
Do you know where he obtained the gun from?
I don't.
What was his reaction when he found out he actually shot a 49ers player?
He felt bad about anyone getting shot in the incident. Felt bad about getting shot himself. But he knows that it raises the stakes, and having been a person, with a public persona.
Because he also has the pending case in San Joaquin County, are you worried that that's going to influence the court's decision in terms of maybe moving into adult court or any potential penalties faced?
Again, it's hard to say without knowing what that case is, but no, not really. I mean, if I'm correct, that whatever it is all he's had in 17 years, I feel good about his lack of record in terms of weighing in his favor with regard to not transferring to